What's going on, everyone? The news today is pretty crazy. We got PlayStation fiscal results coming out. We got an AI video that we got to talk about that's separate, and then we're gonna mix in what he said about the PS5's price not increasing, but it has to remain the same due to the market conditions. We know that's very real. And then we have the sad news of Nintendo Switch 2 going on, which we know inevitably that was going to happen, but only by $50. But it still sucks because it's their first year, but they're giving you all the way till September. I don't like that. That really makes me mad. Everything is getting hit. Steam Machine, everything. Like, it's like, bro, this market is absolutely garbage. But let's get to this first. We got other videos to do as well, too. So it says PlayStation Q4 fiscal year 2025 results. PlayStation has reached 93.7 million consoles shipped lifetime to date. Yeah, I mean, that's really good. So they're going to get their 100 million, but Sony forecasts that they're going to drop the sales. Obviously, that's how things work as fiscal years go on. And considering they cannot move the price of the hardware, though they still do sales on and off, but they can't afford to do that because this market sucks. It's not just PlayStation, Xbox, and then now Nintendo finally joining in with a smaller price increase compared to them, obviously. They're still at the beginning of their generation, but even then, and then Steam Machine trying to do what they're doing as well. Nvidia obviously went the most insane with their price increases, but looking at all that, we see them all doing that now because this market is insane and there is a serious problem with AI feeding. It's not up for question. It's not just them wanting to do this. No, it's the AI feed and focus of components towards that. Not that they don't have the components to give to them, but they choose to feed it all to the AI, and everybody's pretty much using that as well. But that's just another thing to talk about. So PS5 sold 16 million consoles in fiscal year 2025, a million over their target. And the reason why Sony was able to do this is because they had that excellent holiday sale where they had the Pro off for like $100, right? And the base console was off big time. And they had that going for a whole entire month. Because of that, they were able to get into a good position, which they needed to do. But they're at the end of their generation, unlike Nintendo, so it's not the same. Sony and Microsoft, man, they caught a break. So 1.5 million PS5 consoles shipped in Q4 is not too bad, but after this, we expect these numbers to drop. The only way Sony's going to get any sense of boost, it's not going to be from Soros. It's going to be from GTA 6. And sure, they'll have some games to launch alongside that'll help out a little bit, but expect some drop-offs to come big time. Operating income profit increased by 12%. That's pretty good because they run the biggest third-party business in the gaming industry. Just idly sitting there, they're going to get a lot of money. But Sony makes a lot of good deals with third-party publishers. So expect that to actually happen. 125 million active users. We see that went up 1% year on year. Nintendo has 130. Something like that, but who knows if that's going to drop off. And Sony did have it up to 129 to 130, but PS4 users are going to be dropping off. We know that's going to happen. So that's expected, but that's still an increase. So they have an increase in operating profit and increase in monthly active users. Fiscal year 2026 operating income forecast expected to rise 30%. Sales decline -6% due to decrease in hardware sales. Yeah, even with those deals going on, that's actually expected. Increase in investments for the next generation platform. Okay, so overall, I mean, they did have a little bit of declines, but that's expected after you're going into your 6th year. But they're still profitable compared to Microsoft being down on everything in the Xbox world and hiding pretty much everything and not showing you the truth. Now, this is my thing that I like about Nintendo compared to PlayStation and Xbox. Dope. Sony still shows more stats. Is that they don't show their software sales. It's like update them on your website like Nintendo does. They show everything. But Sony's not doing that, and I guess they just don't want to, but that will be nice to know. So we pretty much get the idea here. Now, we're going to get back to this, but let's back up here a little bit and go to this graph right here. This is what I kind of want to say. Josh is the editor is posting something down there. He's a funny guy. And I kind of have a problem with this post But then at the same time, I understand he's being frank. This aligns with what was going on with the fiscal results showing. He says, so Sony CEO Hiroki Totoki says they do not have any plans to further increase the price of the PS5. Why would you? That would be absolutely suicide. And that would be insane. And they want to keep the PS5 at the current price. That's the concerning part that I don't like. Because this is going to give you a window of Microsoft as well. So they have way more money than PlayStation and Nintendo put together. Of course, you don't have any plans to increase the price. You can't afford that from a market standpoint, from an investor standpoint, and in general. And the only reason you can be able to keep that current price is because of GTA 6. It's going to be able to help you move units. And okay, so that's the part that I don't like. But the part that also sucks too, because remember it's a double-edged sword, is that's how garbage and greedy this market is and manipulative. From an AI standpoint, that these people want to dump so much into AI that is just literally destroying everything that has helped all these bastards get to the point that they are at now, all of them. You know what I mean? It's like, really? He wants to keep the current price. Like, like that's supposed to be something amazing. Like, no. I was wanted to hear about a price decrease, meaning that this stupid market goes down and crashes, this AI feed, and that things can get back to being better. But that's not the case. No, Nintendo has to go up. Now, $500. Nintendo consoles never do that. You know what I mean? They never want to get to that point. I'm like, man, if they're doing that, yeah, that says a lot. Because they tried as long as they could at the beginning of their generation. And now we have it to where they have to increase the price of their console before 1 year even hits. They have to announce that. Obviously, they're giving you all the way to September, unlike all the others. So you didn't have that much long. Xbox did it immediately, before that happened, they jumped the gun way too much. But none of this is cool, man. This is all making me mad. I really do not like this. We just had a price increase, so for the next price increase, we don't have that in plan. We will keep this current price so that we can manage the business based on this current price. Meaning, just like what Valve said and everybody else, we're not subsidizing. But we have before. Sony has definitely subsidized. Nintendo is subsidizing. Microsoft did not subsidize. And they tried to even increase the price of Game Pass way beyond the price it should have been. Nintendo Switch Online is still $19.99. But Sony raised the price of PlayStation Plus multiple times. Xbox raised the price of Game Pass multiple times. Tell me how 10 years later, the Nintendo Switch Online, or 9 years later, is still $20 a year. It's absolutely insane. This just gives you an idea. And this company does not have as much money as Sony in a totality standpoint. They're getting up there. And not even close to Microsoft. We're talking about a company that relies pretty much almost 100% off of gaming at this point. That's Nintendo. And then Sony is now 60% of gaming. But when you look at over at Microsoft and look at Xbox, what percentage of Xbox is important to Microsoft? Not even 10%. Maybe 5%. Yeah, if it even is that, I want you guys to think about this ratio difference in percentage here. It's astronomical. And how Microsoft can sit there and do whatever they want with Xbox, but it ain't gonna dent Microsoft. Nintendo can't do what they want and not hurt their company. It's extremely important that they do this correctly. PlayStation cannot do what they want and not dent their company. Even though Nintendo is even in a worse position, right? Because it's still the first year. Steam Machine, it can't even launch, and it's going to get hit insanely hard. But Steam Machine is not 60%, 50% of Valve. You know what I mean? No. Most of Valve, 97%, almost 100, is literally their app on Windows. And that's their base. Nintendo's base is all Nintendo. They have to rely on that. They're not sitting there on some Windows base that has 1 billion people. PlayStation, same thing. But even though they were using PC for a bit, you know what I mean? Sony went out a little bit, but even then. Now, Microsoft, that's different because that's all of the computer world. AI data centers, cloud, all of that. Now, when you take a look at this difference here, you now realize that who should be the most friendly then? Microsoft, but they're not. And you know how much money Steam employees make? Like $50 million a year. It's insane. I think they should subsidize. That would be fine with the Steam Machine. This gives them an incentive now to compete more now than ever and come in with Half-Life 3 and make that move. You know what I mean? It gets interesting, doesn't it? So like the price increase stuff to me is like what he said right here is a double-edged sword. And what I mean by that is the positive thing to this is that you get an introspection into how this market really is. The negative aspect is like you're saying it like keeping it at that current price is supposed to be anything impressive. It's like, no, it isn't. It's annoying. No, what this means is GTA 6 manipulation. And they know that about the market as well too. You cannot trust the hidden hands in the industry that are just suits. Never. You know what I mean? So, PlayStation fiscal results are pretty good. Them doing a much better job of helping gaming growing is a good sign, whereas Microsoft is not doing that. Nintendo is helping gaming growing massively as well too, as we see that still giving you really good quality games. They're deciding to not make games $70, $80. We've seen a lot of games be $50. Star Fox is $50. The next Splatoon is $50. Digital games are now $10 cheaper. We're seeing them selling for $50 and some at 60 that are 70. So those are the positive things they're doing. But the price increase, man, it just makes me mad, man, because I really want, like I said before with the Steam Machine video, I really wanted this generation to be competitive in an organic sense where gaming companies are not being forced and manufacturers to raise the price up. They're not doing this because they want to. Why would you want to make yourselves less? No, this market is absolutely trash. This AI feed is really pissing me off and it's making everything worse. Like, it just makes me want to punch a hole in the wall. Though I'm not going to do that, but that's a metaphor speaking here. You know what I mean? And it's like, damn, man, all of this sucks. And we're just going to have to accept that it's not just Nintendo being greedy, PlayStation being greedy, or even Microsoft, even though they have way more money. They're greedy regardless. But it's that this market is terrible and it is real. Like, you know what I mean? It's not like it's fake. Food is the worst, though, because you got to eat. But yeah, I want you guys to let me know what you think about this. Going down some comments. And Josh says, raise the prices. Shouldn't we be asking about when the next price decrease is coming instead? Yeah, tell me about it. Console was the cheaper way to get into gaming. It's not that now. Nintendo is, yeah. But I mean, even then, it's out of their range. When I think about them, I think $300, right? $199 back then, right? $249, and you made less money back then. You didn't have online. You didn't have microtransactions. Something's really wrong here, right? Yeah, no, it's terrible. I just woke up and I'm looking at all this. I'm like, bro, right? No, I think they should lower the price. Yeah, tell them it's not going to happen though. $599 for PS5 digital is already a lot to ask for. 100% agreed. And this is the market that we're in. The only thing about console gaming is you still can go trade in stuff to get something. You know what I mean? Or you can go to Best Buy and get a 12-month deal, but you can do that for anything. But the PC market is fried the most. I tell you, man, the price of RAM is absolutely insane. The price of SSDs, the price of, NVIDIA cards, where it's like, you just went up by how much? $1,000? Nothing still compares to that. It's all anti-consumer. But I say that the least anti-consumer to me is Nintendo, like easily. They didn't say, oh, I'm going to buy $100, $150. They can't afford to do that either. So they still have to subsidize with these memory price increases. And the reason why I think you have almost a 4-month window, which is very generous, is because of the components that they probably gathered with their LTA. But it's getting so bad that they know we can't do this. Everybody's being pushed into a corner that is not a part of that first party agenda. And you ain't part of the AI feed, yeah, they're jacking the price up. And either you subsidize a little bit or you do not subsidize at all. You can tell who's not subsidizing at all. NVIDIA refuses to subsidize at all. Microsoft refuses to subsidize at all. Sony, I'd say with the hardware price increase, they're not subsidizing on that. But before they were, that's why they were being generous. Nintendo is subsidizing the most. But then, like I said, they're at the beginning of their console cycle. It sucks. Steam Machine didn't even get to launch yet. It's all terrible, right? Nobody likes this shit. So what can we do about it except either you get one now or you're gonna have to deal with that price. Yeah, man, this is all bad. I don't know what to tell you. Shit, man. The best thing I could say is that, yeah, get your Switch 2 right now, because they're gonna have some amazing games. Their generation is going to be good, but everybody's generation is now being affected. And this is the worst ever in gaming, man. This all sucks. Yeah, bro. Bro has that type of that certain type of look where it's like, really, bro. Yeah, so I want you guys to let me know what you think about this. It sucks. I want to kind of like come in and be like, okay, man, we got fiscal results. Let's get a little bit positive. But then it's a double-edged sword because you realize these prices are not going down. You know what I mean? We could have made it to where, yeah, man, you're literally just doing everything positive and just smoking Xbox. You're still doing that anyways, but then there's a negative to this. Then there's a negative to the Switch 2 price increase. Yeah, it sucks, and I'm telling you, I'm not taking this well. So let me know what you guys think down in a comment below. I mean, best thing we could do is just keep on playing really good video games and hope for this market to go down. We thought at one point that was going to happen, but then we're getting the news. I made that Samsung video. I told y'all. No, they're still being morons. Later, y'all. Good Lord.